So have you gotten some sleep? You managed to
Yeah,
get any sleep?
yeah, it hadn't been too bad. Unfortunately, I got home Wednesday and powered through like a trooper. I woke up Thursday morning with what seemed like flu symptoms.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I barely moved all day Thursday and Friday. Um, Tons of Nyquil though, so I have slept like a champ. Um, Feeling much better. You know, felt a lot better yesterday morning. Feel a good bit better today. Just a little groggy. The only thing that's left is mostly congestion. So the fever is gone. I've gotten to go. I had to take 2 days away, which sucked. I couldn't go to the hospital with flu like symptoms. So,
Right.
but yeah, left the door open for me to catch up on all of our favorite pastime, professional wrestling slash sports entertainment.
Well, yeah. What did you watch? What did you catch up on?
I've watched everything. The only thing right now that I have not watched is last night's Turning Point event, um, and I'll probably get through most of it here shortly. Since I'm feeling better, I am going to try to exercise today so that it'll give me something to watch. Um, Watched. I've seen Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, and Rampage. Caught little bits of Impact's Twitch from this week. Didn't see much of
Mm.
anything that mattered. Mostly just teaser setup for the pay per view. But yeah, all caught up. So let's do this thing.
Well, I guess let's just like any highlights that kind of jumped out at you because we're really going to talk about Survivor Series, which is a little bit later today. Anything kind of jumped out on all the wrestling that you watched this week?
I really wish I could point directly to the wrestling itself. But truthfully, I got to talk about the ever growing elephant in the room. That is the fact that we've cut yet again from the WWE roster. Everything that happened this week to me was completely overshadowed by the fact that John Morrison was brought back, turned into a comedy act where he squirted people with water guns, disappeared to, I assume, catering when The Miz got hurt and left to do Dancing with the Stars, and has now been cut alongside his wife, who was also cut. Um, Completely baffled by why you bring up all of Hit Row to 2 weeks later cut them, because I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's a pay raise that goes along with coming to the main
Yeah.
roster. Um, so now you've got 90 days of paying them more than you would have. You could have just cut them in NXT and they'd have had a 30-day lower pay non compete. Just baffled. Continue to be baffled. Um, and I cannot wait for Johnny Dynamite to appear on TBS in January, February, whenever it finally happens. Uh,
I
I
hope
just start putting belts on him in every promotion that exists, just to remind them.
I hope he
Um,
doesn't actually sign. I hope he just Forbidden Door and he appears everywhere, but
yeah,
he does his naming thing where so he's Johnny Impact, he's Johnny Rampage, he's
I just
Johnny Dynamite.
Johnny Japan sounds awesome. So yeah, there was some good. It's Roman and Xavier Woods working together, and they've been
Yeah.
doing good for a while now. Um, Roman still kills it. So as much as I want to say, that enough is enough, I'm going to stop watching. I don't know where the line is.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to stop watching all the good that Roman's doing. I don't want to stop watching the bits and pieces of Raw that I get that are enjoyable. I do. I love to see what they're doing with Bobby Lashley each week. Like, he's wildly entertaining to me now, and I love that it is. Um, RK Bro, I still love them. Um, And then I'm not that until one of these release lists has Ciampa's name on it. I'm not gonna stop watching NXT. It's like it hurts to do it because I know it's super shitty,
Yeah.
um, the way they're doing all these people. But I that's what I'm troubled trying to find that fine line of when is enough that I need to just quit watching it. Um, is it when they sell it to like a real estate conglomerate, like the Braves did with
Yeah.
when AOL made Ted Turner sell it? Is that the moment that I finally like? I'm out. I'm out. Let me know in a decade when you're ready to win a World Series. But until then, I'm out of here. Or
Man,
shit, no, that's
so
like 22 years. But
yeah. So my question is, so someone like Johnny Gargano, who that's coming up, his contract ends here in the next month. I think we know what Kevin Owens is doing. It seems kind of obvious the way they he's even posted stuff that basically imply that he's going to go join his friends over at AEW. But someone like Gargano is an interesting situation. I do think someone like somewhere like Impact would, or I'm sorry, Impact AEW would definitely want to use him. He definitely has history with the Bucks, as does his wife. That brutal tag team match he has with the blood all over her face, like that was against the Young Bucks with a participant we won't name as a partner. But on one hand, you can go to this other organization that's really taking wrestling a little bit more seriously, but maybe getting a little full, a little stacked. Certain people like Adam Cole proves that you can just kind of waltz right in there and be at the top of the card. But that's certain people. I think Gargano is one of those people that would be heavily featured. On the other hand, you got Shawn Michaels, who is your favorite wrestler, basically wanting, like, trying to convince you to stay. And while it sucks that you watched some of your friends and colleagues like lose their jobs over the last year for like dumb reasons, like, you still have your idol telling you like, oh man, you should stick around, like we can work together and stuff. Like, what would you do? I don't even know. I mean, I think logically I would jump. I would make that jump, but like I think it's gonna be a hard decision for Gargano, and I almost kind of feel like he's staying at NXT.
there's a combination of things
Yeah,
at kind of at play for me. One, I listened to both the Talk is Jericho and the Oral Sessions podcasts with Adam Cole, and one big thing that he kept saying was that all Shawn Michaels would say to him was, as much as I would love for you to stay here, I want you to do what you know in your heart is right for you. And I think that's exactly what he'd tell Gargano. Now, on the other hand, I I don't know. I think there's a point where I tell myself, no, this isn't exactly like the best place to be right now, and it's a little nerve wracking not knowing when you're going to be on the cut list. But
yeah,
in the meantime, I'd just keep cashing those damn WWE checks. When they put you in the 90-day non-compete, they've got to pay you through it. Keep
yeah,
cashing 90 days worth of those paychecks and then go do what makes you happy. um, I, I think there's a whole lot at play there. Maybe it's just me. Maybe he could find a way to like strategically work out his release where that 90-day non-compete was like right as she gives birth.
yeah,
and, and then he could get 90 days of paid paternity leave out of him. Um, but I don't know. I think he's a wrestling purist, and at heart he wants to perform. Um, he is still one of the rare few that does get pretty well crafted creative.
yeah,
So I don't think that that he's got to be terribly upset in terms of where he is work wise. Um, the bigger thing for him has got to be just the never knowing, because that taller, younger, bigger guy edict, it's coming for him, and it's coming for
Yeah.
Champa, and hell, it's probably coming for Cameron Grimes because he's not like a meathead. I mean, you got all these guys that are just killer damn wrestlers, that would tear it up wherever else they ended up. But
Yeah.
you know, I mean, but at least the three of them are getting. Yeah, I mean, they get plenty of TV time. Gargano's still getting all the Dexter Loomis, story crafted around him in the way. Um, I don't know. I think truthfully, unless he just desperately wants to go work with AEW, I kind of think that it wouldn't be a bad idea to stay put.
Mhm. Yeah, I think he likes where he is, even though, like, I kind of remind myself, like, back in the, like, 2008 kind of crisis and all that stuff. Like, I was at a big magazine company, and they were shuttering those things left and right. And although I was in a kind of a division that was like safe from those cuts, like, it's still like, it was like, oh, like, I could be next. I could be next. I could be on the chopping block. So I understand that feeling some.
Yeah,
Um, I do actually have some highlights of things that I enjoyed this week. So I enjoyed Jay Lethal versus Sammy Guevara. I thought they had excellent chemistry.
excellent
Um,
match. Excellent match.
and I enjoyed seeing Billy Gunn on television, like, on not on YouTube, like, on actual TV. It was a fun match, and I was not really expecting it to be as fun as it was. And then that Elite versus Jurassic Express, or the Bobby, or really Undisputed Era versus Jurassic Express, was also pretty fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Um,
the Jay Lethal match was fantastic. There's five or six other guys, and I can't even remember who all I listed in that message I sent you when I was watching that one, that I just want to see him have matches with now. Um,
yeah.
it's Yeah, it was great seeing Billy Gunn on TV. The man still puts on a show, and
58.
yes, 58 years old, still built like a brick wall. We won't question, natural or non-natural, but yeah, still kills it. He's an entertainer, and he has been. Um, we looked it up during that match because my mom was curious how long he'd been wrestling. He and Sting both debuted in 1985. So
Wow.
they have been in the business as just right alongside each other since I was born, basically. So that's kind of nuts that the man is still putting on a show like that. Um, Other thing I really loved, not only did Daniel Bryan cut like a I'm going to murder all your friends promo,
Oh yeah.
he went ahead and got the party started. Um, Best part of the match to me was when he looked into the crowd and said, "I'm about to kick his fucking head in," and
Yeah.
then did it. Uh,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's taking the turn now. I'm not getting the eco warrior yes man at all at this point. He's out there to kick heads in, and now he is on the road to killing every member of the Dark Order in their hometown. Um, so this is great. It's gonna like we said the other day when we were talking. I don't remember if it was on the podcast or in text. Um, the Dark Order guys keep eating losses. Really, it feels like the Dark Order is some sort of bizarro version of Mortal Kombat, where you got to fight your way through each one of them to get to Hangman. Um, but I mean, yeah, they're eating all these losses, but they're putting on fantastic matches, and I just consistently and am more and more impressed with each of these guys. Um, I I haven't gotten to see Colt Cabana wrestle as much as you or Michelle, friend of the podcast. have. So I'm really looking forward to the Colt Cabana Danielson match in Chicago this week. But those guys are awesome. Silver is just a showman. I, Alan Angels continues to kill it. Evil Uno had a great one this week. Like I'm a like I'm not gonna start, throwing up the hand or buying the Join Dark Order shirt or anything. Mostly because they all come in black. But these guys they continue to impress, and I love that they're getting this much TV time.
Well, based off of people's hometowns, we have Colt Cabana next week in Chicago. If we go by the Danielson, I'm going to murder you in your hometown situation, Alan Angels is next in Georgia, and then followed by John Silver in Long Island. So like
Nice.
that looks like that the trajectory that's going to happen. Um, One thing I'm looking forward to is Colt said that Colt and Daniel Bryan have a lot of history together, and including the fact that he was the co-star with Colt in this Wrestling Road Diaries thing that they did back in the mid 2000s, back when they were both kind of indie guys just going on the road. So Colt said he gave AEW permission to use any of that. So I hope they cut together some cool video package that like uses some of that old footage. I think that'd be pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I'm also definitely looking forward to watching Turning Point and seeing this brutal match between Eddie Edwards and Moose. Um, the clips I've seen so far, I didn't watch it live, but the clips I've seen seem pretty ridiculous, especially for a non-major show. Like they just kind of just did all this stuff, this crazy stuff. That's always crazy to me.
Yeah,
So
the sunset flip power bomb off the ladder through a ladder.
yeah,
That was friggin' nuts. That was some Kevin Owens level craziness.
yeah,
Um, yeah, no, I for those listening, there were zero title changes at Turning Point, but based off the clips, Moose and Eddie Edwards definitely put on a show. So we'll be watching that here shortly.
yeah. All right, well, let's talk about Survivor Series. Whoever's left at WWE is it's going to be in this show, I guess.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair will be taking on Roman Reigns in a 3.5 hour match to determine the. It's a winner takes all, so this will determine who holds all 9 belts between the two of them, since they're the only two people still employed.
Oh man, I think what we're gonna have to do. I normally like using Moose images for this podcast, but I think just in light of everything, I got to use that image that you sent me with the doctored Fresh Prince of Bel Air, the empty house with Roman just standing there with a belt. I think that's what we had to use for this this episode. Um, so what do we got? What are some of these matches that we've got on this card?
All right, for some reason they have added a 25-man battle royal match to this card. Not real
Twenty
sure.
five twenty
Yeah.
five man is for 25 years of The Rock, or since The
Oh,
Rock's debut. So that's
so
why.
what? All right, all right. We put a whole lot of thought into that one. Um, Jinder Mahal wins. We'll just bypass this. Um,
I'm gonna go
Jinder
with
Mahal.
Shanky because I like
Jin,
saying Shanky.
Jinder Mahal, who now has nothing to do because he's still employed, and the guys that he's been rap battle feuding with just got fired.
Oh,
This is like the third straight round of cuts where the people that Jinder Mahal has been involved in a feud with have been the ones on the chopping block. Um,
damn.
yeah, I think the only one he's feuded with that hasn't been fired is Jeff Hardy, and that's only because they don't want to let Jeff Hardy team back up with Matt. All right. We have the women's Survivor Series match. Team SmackDown will be Sasha, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalia, and Tony Storm. Team Raw, Bianca, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina Vega.
So are we sure they're not gonna like remove some people and change out, have some matches in a pre-show to like change out the teams completely to
I
to eliminate even more stakes from this match?
I feel like they've kind of cleared all of the little hurdles, because as of
Okay.
last night, Tony Storm was the last piece that got shuffled. I can't remember. I don't think it was Naomi, but it would make sense storyline wise for Sonya to have replaced Naomi with Tony Storm. Um, but yeah, I think in our this match means absolutely nothing. Showdown. Um, I think these are the pieces that are in place. Still a little weird that Rhea Ripley's tag team champion partner is not part of her team, but
She's probably gonna get cut next week, and then
yeah, yeah. Oh, so Rhea
there's
will just single handedly have to defend the belts.
yes. Let's see. I don't know, man. Like, on one hand, I was just like, my gut was telling me Team SmackDown because it had Tony Storm on it. But then, like Liv Morgan's had some success recently, and then Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair on Team Raw makes it a little hard. But I guess maybe I'll go with my gut, Team SmackDown.
sounds like a good enough prediction. Um, I have no idea. Honestly, I some part of me thinks that Team Raw gets the Survivor Series wins so that Team
Yeah.
SmackDown can win all the champion matches um, without pissing off USA Network. Plus, it's weird because I've watched her lose her last like 87 matches, but they still keep pushing Bianca Belair to the moon, even though she loses at every turn lately. So I'll take Raw here. Mitt.
So one more thing. So I'm going to say Natalia is going to be the first eliminated, and then I'm going to go with Banks being the sole survivor.
Well, hell, I'm gonna flip my prediction. I think it's gonna be a Dolph Ziggler situation.
Mm.
Natalia is gonna
Oh my
single-handedly
god!
eliminate all of Team Raw to win this thing.
All right.
So I'm picking Natalia to sole survivor. Just run the table. Let's get that Dolph Ziggler ending in here. All
All
right,
right.
men's Survivor Series match. SmackDown is bringing Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, oh, and
Sheamus.
Sheamus.
Yeah.
That Happy Corbin thing just it doesn't sit well. Team Raw will be Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory.
So I'm going to say the first eliminated is going to be Happy Corbin. Just with the gimmick, it seems like he's got to be the first to go.
I'm good with that.
Um, I my gut on this one tells me Team Raw, so I'm going to go Team Raw on this one. With Lashley being the sole survivor.
It's not a bad one. I don't think there'll be a sole survivor this time.
Ah,
Uh,
you think
but
it'd be a blowout?
I no, I do see Team Raw getting the win here. I think Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory are the last two standing.
Mm.
Um, they had some chemistry on TV the other night. I wouldn't mind seeing Austin Theory's goofy ass as a part of the Hurt Business. I mean, physically he fits. I mean, complexion wise, not so much, but I don't know. I think it could be awesome if they started teaming together.
Yeah.
Austin Theory he needs like that, like he almost needs like an RK Bro type situation where he needs a real serious partner to work with to help get him kind of over. Um, so yeah, I think Team Raw, Lashley, and Theory are left standing. Then,
Oh yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
go
you
ahead.
got it.
We will move
Oh,
into the champion versus champion matches.
all
What you
right.
got?
We're going to start with RK Bro versus the Usos. Is that what we're going to start with?
Yeah, we can go with that one.
Um, I'm just going to straight up say Usos are going to take this one.
Yep, we the ones.
Yeah.
The bloodline reigns supreme on this show. we might as well just go ahead and knock out Big E Roman Reigns here. Um, yeah, the bloodline's going to clean sweep those two matches.
Yeah.
There's no way they don't. Um, because if the Usos lose to RK Bro, Roman is probably going to come out at the end of that match and just whoop both of their asses. No, I'm not ready for that yet. Uh,
And even if we did, despite all the rumors and the filming schedules and all that, even if The Rock did show up at this pay per view, it's going to be after he defeats Roman defeats Big E. It's
yeah,
not even. It's not going to be like, oh, distraction, and then Big E wins. Even though this doesn't matter, he's not gonna he's not gonna beat him.
yeah.
So
All
so yeah.
right, that's got our two pretty much guaranteed SmackDown wins down. We have Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura with Rick Boogs taking on Damian Priest.
I think this could be the match of the night.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah, low key. Like I think there'll be some other stupid things that happen in other matches that people talk about, but I think this will be like in ring best match of the show. Um, I think I think it could go either way. I'm gonna go with Priest on this. I think it's gonna be a fun match, but I think Priest is gonna eke out the win here.
Yeah, I do too. I I think this is going to be the clean win that Raw
Mm,
gets. Is going to be Priest going over. Uh, they've been doing so good, and God bless Dijakovic because he has taken some beatings and put in some work to make Priest look like the beast champion that he is now. Um, so I think that you see some more of that new intensity that he's been showing, and I think this is going to be the one here because we'll get into the women's matches. There's no world where that match gets a clean ending, not with all of this extra shit that's on top of it. Um, Raw gets their clean win in this match, and it is most definitely um, probably going to be the best part of this show.
yeah. All right. The elephant in the room: Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch.
I
This
still
is so
want
weird. I don't
I
know.
want to find out that it's all a work.
Yeah.
Um, that I mean, they got everybody riled up. All the dirt sheet writers got a month worth of crap to speculate on and pretend they had inside tracks about. I I just come Monday morning, I want like a photo to surface where they're like cheersing each other with margaritas, celebrating the fact that they got this work over on all of us.
Yeah.
Um, that said, this match will not get a clean end in any way. Um, honest to God, some part of me feels like if if The Rock is not going to turn up, and I don't see any scenario where it's even remotely possible, given everything he's got going on right now. Um, I think this match main events, and I think that this may be where Ronda Rousey comes back.
Mm.
Um, it and there hasn't been a whole lot of inkling at all. I mean that she was looking at coming back for a while now, which is a really weird thing because we went through a couple of months there. We're like, oh, this is Ronda Rousey could potentially turn up, and then it got real quiet on that front. Um, I think that with these two back in this match, plant the seeds now. Because I'm okay with you running back that triple threat match come WrestleMania.
So she got pregnant, right? And was it around the same time Becky did then?
Yeah,
Okay. Um. So like supposedly she could be ready to
yeah,
make a run then. All right.
absolutely.
I mean, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Like especially with kind of as lackluster that the build that they've been doing to this, essentially what is a big four show, but I think this is the last year where they fully move on from Survivor Series being a big four show next year. Money in the Bank is its replacement.
It
Um,
doesn't. It doesn't. After The Rock's 25th anniversary, it doesn't have
yeah,
any like. There's not even any legacy attached to it anymore. There's zero
yeah,
stakes. Um, I mean, this should be a pay per view where you're culminating, King of the Ring tournaments or things like that. But there's just nothing. It's champion versus champion, but in the brand split, none of the belts are actually on the line. Um, the teams that win the Survivor Series matches get absolutely nothing.
yeah,
It I mean, at this point, these Survivor Series teams should be built of, you know, like a top guy, like your McIntyre, uh, Jeff Hardy. Put a tag team in there, and then I think there should be a woman. I think there should be one of each of these matches, and then whichever team wins, those
mm,
guys are in the next in line for title shots on their particular brand. Um, I mean, it's a convoluted system because how can you determine which of the singles competitors is the going for the world and then the mid card belt, but you got to do something, and they've just sort of let this thing become kind of a just hodgepodge. How can we get Happy Corbin on a pay per view? Um, Sort of just it meaningless thing, and it's really sad because I was thinking about it last night, and last year I couldn't go with COVID. They didn't have a crowd. But outside of that, this will be the first Survivor Series since what 2015 that I
mm,
haven't gone to live. Um, I mean, I love the matches. They're
yeah,
tons of fun. I was there for the confetti drop brogue
yeah.
kick
I was
when
just thinking about that one. Yeah,
when Sheamus cashed in. Like there was so much awesome shit that went down on these shows, and the last few years, it just they don't feel like there's any stakes in anything, and it's sort of taken away from it.
man, 2016, those two Survivor Series matches were excellent.
Yeah,
They included some people like Jeff Ellsworth. I don't even remember what his first name was anymore.
James.
James Ellsworth. Yeah, that not so great anymore, but for the most part, it was just a lot of fun.
And
Um,
where's the Smack or the NXT representation here? Like, I really enjoyed that being an element of it.
yeah,
Um, you got to see like Keith Lee in the ring with Roman, and Adam Cole went off, and I
yeah,
mean, it was like that was fun. Those are matches that you're not going to get because all the NXT guys won't have jobs in 6 weeks. So at
oh
least we
man,
could get that like once in a lifetime opportunity to see these matches on pay per view.
I hope they do something, man. I don't know, like bringing people in for like long runs. Like maybe if they're not signing as many people anymore, but they bring in some people for an extended 3 month program. But they they kind of start doing a Forbidden Door type situation where they bring in people in for short runs, but they don't bring them in for the whole time. It makes it maybe a little less predictable, but maybe you do put your title on. I mean, don't take it from Roman, but maybe you do take your title off of an intercontinental champion or something like that. You put it on a visitor for a few weeks and make that unpredictable. I don't know. And they can still keep their budget lower, um, and keep their product interesting. But I just like if they're not going to do something like that, like it's going to get real stale here. I mean, it was already pretty stale, and the fact is they weren't using these people that they've been cutting,
Yeah.
or I'm well, inception of like running promos for certain people, um, but they're going to run out of options, and it's just going to get extra stale, and the ratings are going to go further south. But they must be getting ready to sell it because
Yeah.
that's the only thing that really makes sense.
And the other thing that I don't get, like, why do you keep signing? I mean, some of these people that are getting cut just signed extensions. I mean, why are you're putting yourself out there and just destroying public opinion essentially with all of these things? Why are you not just signing people to 1 year deals? Let
Yeah,
those 1 years expire and just don't renew people. That's just business. But you
yeah,
signing all of these people up, trying to keep them from other companies, and now you're just like cleaning house. It's a terrible look. And they're not stupid. I don't understand why they wouldn't find these little nuanced ways to save face, even if this was what they were going to do. Contracts expire. It happens. That's why there's a free agency period every year in every major sport. Um, so I just truly don't understand. And at least then the talent don't have to badmouth you for, basically having to live in a system where you don't know if you're getting pink slipped every other day. I mean, they know when that year is up. They can plan around that. They know exactly what's coming. Um, I just there's so many things that confuse me about the way that they're doing this. Because I mean it's just like MJF. He knows when his contract's up. That's why he's already building the bidding war. Um, like they signed all of those same people that they're cutting now right around that same time. So those deals are coming up.
yeah,
Just ride it out. Your shareholders are already impressed. You don't have to fire them to to raise your stock valuation $1 in the quarter. Like it, it's not helping anything majorly in the long run.
yeah.
Um, to like
Especially when you
shit.
got those Saudi shows back, and so you're
Yeah,
making a ton of money off that. So
yeah. Just absolutely nuts. I don't get it. I mean,
yeah,
in 2021, when public opinion is make or break, it seems like. Just ask Joey Ryan, who we wouldn't mention earlier. Um, like public opinion goes a hell of a long way at this point.
yeah,
I mean, he's
yeah.
just a piece of shit. That's not really a public opinion thing, but he's just generally a piece of shit. Uh,
I
so
know,
I
like on one hand, like, and I don't think this is going to be the case, but like, on one hand, it's just like I hope there's still. I hope it doesn't go the way of WCW. I hope they don't sell it and then to some like media conglomerate, and they're like, nah, no worries, and then they just like have the video library, but they cease actually
yeah
operating as a company. Like, I don't want just AEW to be the top, the one company, the one major company. Obviously, there'll be others, but like, yeah, I want there to be good, healthy competition. So I hope something works out. But it is like real shitty that people keep on losing their jobs.
yeah.
Um,
I'll
and I
see if I
think,
can I'll see if I can find it. There was an article I read this morning where this guy speculated. I mean, it's not looking great for Ring of Honor.
yeah,
Um, to the point where if somebody had a little bit of money, Sinclair would sell.
hmm,
And the article basically said between being able to probably get Ring of Honor pretty cheap and the slew of WWE releases that would add extra name recognition, somebody with even the remotest sense of TV connections right now could establish a third legitimate wrestling company at this
yeah,
point, just on the bones of those two things.
hmm,
Um, like I and anybody. I still keep hoping that Mark Cuban's secretly a wrestling fan, just because everything he touches basically turns to gold. Even if the
yeah,
Mavericks didn't play real well this year or last year, um, he's I don't know, he's invested and enthralled, and he clearly has TV deals. I don't know. Maybe The Rock gets fed up now that Nia Jax got fired, and he's like, "Well, shit, somebody can fix wrestling. I might as well buy that shit up too, like I did the XFL."
yeah,
Um, I mean, who knows? I'm terrified for a world where WWE sells to AOL Time Warner type, especially with Ring of Honor kind of teetering on the edge. It because competition is the only thing that helps,
yeah,
and right now it's starting to fade, and I don't care how many how many million you can point to on a uh, demographic ratings chart each week for your program. If a program sucks, that number will come down. Um, and if you keep putting stale shit on TV, that number will come down. So I'm with you. Competition is the only thing that's going to keep this healthy, and I desperately want to see somebody with a little pull save Ring of Honor, um, just for the sake of the pipeline, if nothing else. It doesn't have to become a what TNA thought they were
Hmm.
back when the Monday Night Wars went on. Um, I just You just need that top tier indie house that Ring of Honor has been for so long now.
Yeah.
Um, and if that goes by the wayside, there's going to be an awful lot of unemployed wrestlers.
Yeah. And yeah, we just need something. Well, let's wrap this up. One thing I just wanted a little shout out this week. So Andy Williams, aka the Butcher, supposedly ripped his bicep in the match versus Ishii and Orange Cassidy this week. And the very next day, he was playing a show with here in the LA area with his band Every Time I Die. I think that's the name of it, right? So that's a shout out to a real champ there for like getting to wrestle which apparently he took time off his tour so he could wrestle Ishii understandably, and then also then continue to play on his tour with a ripped bicep. With a ripped bicep is a more of a minor injury, but it still sucks. I'm sure. So
Yeah, it's a little hard to play an instrument when it hurts every time you move your arm.
yeah. So good to him. Anything else you want to add?
No, just smash that like button. Give us a follow on all your podcast platforms, YouTube. Um, yeah, no, I'm at this point. I'm fading a little bit, so I guess I'm not as caught up on sleep as I hoped I was. Um, but yeah, I hopefully Survivor Series is good. Um, I don't know.
And if it's
Excited
not, whatever. I guess
excited for
sure.
Danielson Angels now that I've got that ticket for Dynamite in Duluth, December 1st.
Yeah, hopefully that's the route they're
Yeah,
going. But that's the logical route, like with the next couple weeks after Chicago. So yeah.
we will undoubtedly come back at some point between now and then. But if schedules don't allow it, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, um, and
Yeah.
we will see you next time.
Enjoy that turkey. Gobbledygooker.